Happy New Year's, everybody. It's been a while since I made a video, and that's probably because I've been doing more traveling and less fishing. But I have done some fishing, but figured nobody wanted to watch me float to the bay very much, so decided to take a break from making videos. My voice sounds kind of weird. It's because from this trip, I think I picked up some bronchitis. Getting better, but still sound kind of weird. Anyways, this trip is kind of a repeat from last year. Last year, I went to Seattle, didn't get to fish because it was like -20 due to a polar vortex. This year, it was a balmy 28 degrees Fahrenheit, so definitely fishable. If you haven't been to the Olympic National Park area, it's a beautiful area. It's like a rainforest mixed with high mountains, so you get a wide variety of wildlife and scenery. This fishing trip, you actually get a pretty good sampler of the scenery, so I would just combine both of them if you ever feel like going to that area. Anyways, we went to the Forks area, which is an ideal spot because there's a ton of launch areas. This one specific spot we went out to, and the guide saw another boat there, so he just got in the car and drove us to another spot within 30 minutes. So this here's the whole river, which, if you're familiar with Olympic National Park, is actually one of the main points of attraction here. So it's kind of stoked to be able to float down it this time. Um, Pretty calm morning, not much wind, above freezing at this point. So the plan for me was to do mainly indicator fishing, but I was hoping to do some swinging, or at least learn how to swing at some point. Indicator fishing here is like any other drift boat. Basically, you just mend a lot and make sure your indicator is kind of moving along with the boat. And the reason you're not really seeing much fishing action here, more scenery, is because I pretty much got skunked the first day. So we floated for quite a while, didn't get much action, and decided to pull off and do some spay lessons and swinging. Naturally, if I didn't catch anything on the indicator, probably wasn't going to catch anything on the swing. But it was still a beautiful day, and I really wanted to learn how to two-hand cast, so that was the main attraction of that day. So the next morning was even colder. I think it was I don't know how many degrees. I think it was 28 when I first looked, but uh, the main thing was the guides would freeze up pretty fast. So that made casting and handling your line pretty annoying.
Hang on tight. Stop. Looking like the bottom, maybe?
Yeah.
That's a good
So you could see here that I got a stick fish, but
there's no snags in there. So when I see the boat go down, I get pretty excited.
so you heard the guide say basically he could have sworn it was a fish because there shouldn't be anything there. So this spot looked really fishy, and this was actually my second hookup. The first one I missed the video, and on the jump, he actually threw the hook.
Want a fish, huh?
Oh,
This time, he kind of charged towards the boat,
come on.
and basically I lost it coming in. But at least I was getting action today, which was a good sign. So finally, I had a solid hookup, and I didn't have the camera on the actual connection because we were doing repeat floats past this one run. So the first few didn't get anything, so I didn't think I was gonna hook up. But kind of gives you an idea of winter steelheading, which is basically you just gotta keep hammering the spots where you think the fish are, and essentially put it in their face.
What's up?
I'm glad we went back up for one more swing there, huh? In a minute, I'm going to have you reel almost to the end of the fly line and try to lead it to the net, okay?
On the board.
You're going to come into this ripple, and there's going to be a little white water on the left bank. And we're going to throw to the left bank.
fish?
Oh, that's fish. Good, big one. Get him on the reel, okay?
So you could tell from those splashes that this fish probably had some junk in its trunk. Definitely bigger than the one I had caught. And this was a fairly intense fight, which I didn't film very well because the camera was on my chest and I was reeling in and trying to get out of the way. But the fish ended up behind that rock you see right there. And we actually had to pull up right next to it and let out some slack. And miraculously, the fish was still on after it freed itself. Around this point, we actually did get to see the fish.
When it splashed, it seemed pretty good.
Yeah, no joke.
And the guide said it was probably in the 14, 15 pound range. But like most fish stories, you don't actually get to verify it because it threw the hook at that
That
point.
one was pretty chunky.
You could hear the pain in her voice. Like, yeah, that was a sad moment.
Hey, drag it a little. Drag it more. Right there. Yep. Release that. There you go. Nice. Now see, what you did there is smart. You hooked a nice little one. It should be easier to land.
Oh,
You're not like dying on hooks, the great big enormous ones.
So I'm only going to show snippets from this fight because I think it took almost 7 minutes, and that's because the fish got in the current, and there's really nothing I can do to pull it in. Eventually, the guide moved the boat, and you can see we're kind of pulling it along, trying to get to a calmer area to bring it in.
we just did it.
Left bank on the grass down there. It's not normally where I go, but from here. Ryan, you might have to dump your rod in your head if the fish goes around the back of the boat, okay? I'm going to try to row around that fish, which is going to mean spinning the boat. So you're going to have to duck way down, okay? Hang on tight, I could hit a rock. One in the hole. Stand a chance.
It looks a little fatter than the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this wasn't a giant by any means, but it gave me enough of a push that I felt like I was pretty content with that fish for this trip, especially since I had a skunk the first day. Anyways, we decided to do a half day there and then we moved the boat to another river. I think I fished a total of 4 rivers in 2 days. This one was the bogey, I think. Don't let the sun fool you. It was still super cold, and the guides pretty much kept on freezing the whole day. This one, I was actually reeling in and trying to undo a knot, and suddenly the line wrapped around my finger and started pulling. For a second, I thought I was gonna lose my finger in case it was like a giant steelhead, but luckily it ended up being he called it a jack, but I think I've heard them called half pounders before. Pretty much young steelhead and still really cool, still pulled really hard for their size. Um, this one looked super chromy. The picture makes it look a little
So it's a one
more
step
colorful,
away.
but when I saw it, it looked black and
Goes
white.
to the ocean, and instead of returning in 2 years, it returns like, you know, in 8 months or something. Indicator for next year's survival of adult hatchery fish.
So this one was another jack, but unlike the first one, I actually saw the indicator go down and set the hook, so it wasn't an accidental fish. This one actually fought a little bit harder than the first one, but again, not in the same league as the Big Brother version. Overall, I was pretty happy with the action today. I think I had
Yeah, you guys want
5 hookups and
Alright,
brought
we
in
had to
4.
stay in a courtyard. Don't think we could cook up.
Main thing is
You put it on the manifold.
at least when you're fighting
Wrap it
fish, you're not
around,
freezing your butt off
you know?
just sitting there, so that's the plus. So that pretty much wraps up my first trip of 2025. In terms of what's on the docket, I do have a redfish trip coming in March, so looking forward to that. But hopefully, I get to do some more fishing in between then. Thanks again for watching, and hope to see you guys next time.